Someone else who's not been happy with their position in WWE is Hideo Itami, who asked for his release this week after his appearance in the Fatal 4-Way match for the Cruiserweight title on the Royal Rumble kickoff show. He also later lost to Akira Tozawa Tuesday night on 205 Live, which may well end up being his final match for the company. Fightful.com broke the story on Tuesday. Tuesday was a big day. That Itami asked for his release, and the talk backstage was that his request, unlike the Revival, and unlike Mike and Maria Kanellis, despite what Maria said on Instagram, unlike them, it sounds like his request will be granted, pending a 90-day no-compete clause, because if they're letting him go early, they're not just going to let him go waltz into some other company. He's going to have to wait 3 months. He was said to be, like the others, very unsatisfied creatively. He's already changed his Twitter name back to KENTA. He posted one single tweet simply saying thank you, and a ton of WWE superstars have since tweeted thank you right back to him. Daniel Bryan even included a link to the match that he and KENTA had at Ring of Honor Glory by Honor 5, Night 2, from September of 2006, which, by the way, that match is posted free on the Ring of Honor YouTube channel if you've never seen it before. It is one of the best matches that I have ever seen live. KENTA was an absolute beast, and we never got to see him in WWE. Hideo Itami was not the same KENTA that people, I think, were hoping for when he first signed with the company. We got a very toned-down version of what made him popular, that style, that strong style that he was really known for. And yet, when he first debuted, those first several months, he was over. He was over in NXT. He was popular. I thought they did a masterful job of building to that very first GTS spot. CM Punk had stolen his move, just like Daniel Bryan had borrowed his running knee. And Punk, took the GTS, and now KENTA was here, and he wanted his move. Punk was gone, and he wanted his move back. And I'll never forget the reaction when he finally nailed Tyler Breeze with it at that NXT live event. It was WrestleMania weekend. It was at San Jose State University. That was the very first NXT event I had ever attended live. It was not a takeover show. This was before they were doing the takeover specials every WrestleMania weekend. I think they started doing that the year after. But it was an incredible moment. And, of course, it was only a couple days later he got a spot in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania. He was dumped out pretty unceremoniously, but he was the one lone NXT name who got a spot in the Battle Royal. After that, he seemed to be well on his way to an NXT Championship win in Japan at that Beast in the East special that summer. This was in 2015, and I still maintain to this day that would have been his spot. Had it not been for the injury, he had a shoulder injury, it would have been him, and not Finn Balor beating Kevin Owens to become the new NXT champion. I will firmly believe that until somebody proves me different, that spot would have been his. But unfortunately for him, he got hurt. I think it was in May. He suffered a shoulder injury. That's when they shot that angle in the parking lot at Full Sail, where he got laid out by a mystery assailant. We never did find out who attacked. I mean, obviously it was Kevin Owens. I mean, come on. Then Aleister Black, years later, gets attacked also in the parking lot at Full Sail. School safety needs to get their fucking act together over there. But he never recovered. KENTA never recovered from that. I remember they made such a big deal about his signing. They even brought in Hulk Hogan for the signing ceremony at that event in Japan when they were over there, and when he signed his contract. And what a weird photo that is now to look back on. Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart in the middle of the ring in Japan holding KENTA's arms up like he's some conquering hero. But he got hurt. And then he suffered complications during his recovery. He ended up missing over a year. And that killed him. He was never the same after that. Even after he came back, it was only a few months later, maybe, 3 months, 4 months later, he suffered another injury. He hurt his neck, which is nasty to go back and watch. If you could find any of the video or the old tweets, people tweeted out video of the NXT live event. This was in October, I want to say, of 2016. It was on a botched power slam at the hands of Riddick Moss. And Riddick Moss is obviously, very inexperienced. But they were working, I believe, a tag team match. And, it's kind of that not scoop power slam, but that snap power slam. You see Randy Orton do it. Goldust would do it in his matches. It was that kind of power slam, and Itami landed right on his neck. It looked absolutely brutal. He's lucky he let me tell you something. He is lucky. You watch that video that he didn't get hurt a lot worse, a lot more permanently. But he did get hurt, and unfortunately for him, he was out for another, I think it was, what was it, 6 months? 7 months, and it wasn't even really his fault. It came at a horrible time because he was supposed to team up with Kota Ibushi. In the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, he had to pull out, and he missed another 6 months. That's 18 months on the shelf in total during his WWE run, and this is before he ever hit the main roster. 18 months down the toilet. I can't say that I blame WWE. You know, it was the injuries. The injuries derailed any real push that he may have gotten. He was snake bitten. It doesn't always work out for everybody. If they do grant him his release, because it's not confirmed that he has been granted his release. The talk seems to be that he will be, but I don't believe he already has. If he is, it'll be 90 days before he can go anywhere. I don't know if he stays stateside or if he goes back to Japan, but it sounds like we're about to see KENTA. KENTA's about to make his return. The question is he still the KENTA of old? Because if he is, I wouldn't want to be in the ring with him. No more so than I would want to be on the receiving end of a chop from Walter. I saw that poor bastard he wrestled in his debut on NXT UK last week. He left him with a handprint on his chest. But I hope he finds success again somewhere, and he stays healthy, most importantly. WWE gave him a chance, but the injuries just killed him. Creative wasn't all that great either when he came back, but again, I really can't blame WWE in this instance. You know, you can blame WWE about a lot of things, and they are an easy scapegoat. But in this case, I really can't hold it too much against the company. I don't even think that there's anybody to blame. It just, shit happens. This was just a case of bad luck. But as far as, again, where he might end up, Neville, look at Neville. He went back to Dragon Gate. Dragon Gate is where that was his home. It's where he made a name for himself. And when he left WWE, it took him a while, but he ended up back in Dragon Gate. Maybe Itami is going to go back to his home. His home for so many years was Pro Wrestling Noah. I think it would be interesting to see him in New Japan as well. But we'll see where he ends up. Maybe he stays, again, in the U.S. Maybe he ventures back to Japan. Hopefully he can stay healthy and he can have another run. Because he's not, look, he's older now, but he's not that old. I still think he's got a good run and a lot of good matches left in him. It's just a shame it won't be in WWE.